Goodwood.
I love these events because, it takes me back to a point in time. It allows me at times to experience cars that I could never have experienced in their day because I was too young. And it allows me to reconnect with cars that I drove in my past.
The passion is what it's all about. It's all about being a caretaker for these wonderful pieces.
It's really the experience of driving more so than racing, because I had a career of racing at a top level, but really more the experience of driving them and on circuits of what they were built for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Historic car racing, it's just nothing but pleasure.
Cars running better than it ever has.
I've always described historic car racing as a living museum. Where you go to an event and you see cars that drove 30, 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago. The greatest drivers in the history of motorsports drove them.
I enjoy vintage racing probably more than any type of racing out there. I'm deep into the business and wanted to do something that really kind of brought my youthful side out.
I'm 54 years old on Sunday, and I've been racing for 20 years and a pit fan since before that. I'm not the fastest guy out there, but among the most passionate, and I just love having the cars and being able to drive these great historic cars.
HMP really, I think, came about as a result of a number of discussions that Zach Brown and I and Peter Stoneberg had together about historic car racing and what we thought about where it was at this point in time and where it could be.
All of us who started HMP are drivers first and foremost and participants in the event. And so we look at it from a participant standpoint and what would make it great for a participant who takes all the time and energy and money to bring their cars to these great events and trying to enhance their experience.
To be partners with someone like a Bobby Rahal and Peter, I think is very exciting. We have a lot of passion, and everything that we're going to be doing is because we drive ourselves. Because we're coming at this fresh, we don't have one hand tied behind our back or any history or anything stepping on how we can roll out this new product.
First and foremost, it's track time. That's what people come for. They want to come and drive their cars. And so we're planning on doing things like vintage enduros, where you'll spend 2 hours in the car consistently and maybe have co-drivers so that both can get the same experience. We may do things like team racing, where we have a team from the 60s, from the 70s, from the 80s and the 90s, all on the same team, doing a team race event.
The HMP organization getting going is just really terrific, and I think that what it really does is it's hopefully going to organize another level of racing where people who are serious about it and have serious race cars will have an arena for them to be able to perform in.
It's a kind of an approach to historic car racing that goes beyond just the cars running around the track. Ultimately, that's the most important part, but you have to have a kind of a supporting cast, and the cast is really all these, whether it's black tie evenings or whether it's auctions or whether it's the way the paddock, the cars are presented in the paddock, in a very nice way, in a very professional way, so that the spectators, it's something you really want to drive it so the spectators are, the people that are interested in this kind of stuff want to come in and be a part of it.
We want to see the cars and have the cars at our events that are the ones that we love to drive and look at both on the track and in the paddock. And we want those cars to be displayed in a way that is appropriate to their era and appropriate to the honoring the value and the beauty of those cars.
Anyone who attends vintage racing is really coming for the love of the sport, and they probably grew up watching these cars. And so we want to give as much open access as possible and help display that history and have drivers like Bobby Rahal and the very famous race car drivers coming out and being accessible, which is hard to get in today's form of racing.
this is a demographic that sponsors are very interested in. It's those people that are in their highest earning, highest investing, highest spending, highest inheriting periods of their lives.
I think sponsors are going to be able to interact with the participants in many different ways. They're going to be able to provide lifestyle events and parties that these participants will attend, and they'll attend on a social basis. So they'll be able to build relationships with them and their families, which is really the best type of relationship to forge on a personal level.
Any sport, its legitimacy is based on its history, and that's why they have Hall of Fames. Historic car racing is really kind of an active Hall of Fame. It's a thrill, and there's all other kinds of motorsports, professional or otherwise, but I do think that historic car racing really hits all the buttons.